welcome to Crime in Court. My name is Heather, and this is the Canton cover up Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. And we also talk about Aiden, Turtleboy, Carney, and that is who we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go over the defamation case that he has filed a lawsuit against the fake victim. So we're going to go over that. This is going to be a shorter episode. So let's get started. And please hit that like button as we begin. So this is, like I said, Aiden Carney versus the fake victim. I don't want to say her name, but you can see it on the screen. It is Lindsay Gattani. All right, so plaintiff's complaint with a demand for jury trial, which is awesome because he's got all of his receipts and she's got faked things, faked evidence, and a lot of incriminating evidence. So let's read what he's got to say and why. Specifically, he's suing Lindsay Gattani. As you know, he went to jail because of Lindsay Gattani, if you've followed my channel at all, because he was reporting on the Karen Reed case. The Massachusetts State Police have come down really hard on Aiden. They've charged him with, I know it started out with like 13, I think, felony witness intimidation charges. And then they added more later on. So now I don't remember how many, but it's more than 13. And because he was out on bail for that supposed or alleged witness intimidation, he if he, did something illegal, something criminal, he would go to jail for violating his bail orders. So Lindsay and Brian Tully, who is Michael Proctor, his boss is Yuri Buchanan, and then Brian Tully is his boss. So just so you know how it goes in the chain of command. So Brian Tully, who's a lieutenant detective, he basically set up Aiden with the help of Lindsay Gattani and also Kenneth Mello, who is the attorney, the special prosecutor that was assigned in this case. Norfolk County had to go out and get a special prosecutor because probably they didn't want to touch it because it was, a witness or a what are the words I'm looking for? Um, brain's not working. Why can't I think of the word? I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. So let's read through this. The plaintiff, Aiden Carney, Carney or plaintiff, here on after in this document, is a resident of Holden, Worcester County, Massachusetts. Sorry if I'm butchering pronunciations and things. I'm from Chicago. We say things differently here. All right, the defendant, Lindsay Gattani or defendant, is a resident of Medfield County of Norfolk, Massachusetts. So facts common to all counts. Number 3, the plaintiff restates and reavers paragraph 1 and 2 as if expressly rewritten. So he's just saying, like, yes, as written, this is true. On multiple dates and occasions beginning in 2024, the defendant, Gattani, has made defamatory statements about the plaintiff. So you can't just say things about someone because you're mad at them that aren't true, knowingly, especially on a social media platform and whatnot, where you can and where, Turtle Boy's whole like platform is also online. So her posting things online and starting the conversation about it gets, his followers. It can affect his followers and who trusts him or not. If people actually believe that he did something to her, she made up assault and battery charges to say that he pushed her on the couch or something, and he never did that. So, number four, on multiple dates and occasions beginning in 2024, the defendant, Gattani, has made defamatory statements. Number five, on multiple dates and occasions beginning in 2024, the defendant, Gattani, has written and published to her social media accounts and to other sources and media defamatory statements about the plaintiff. Number six, the following paragraphs are separate and distinct examples of defamatory statements and writings made by the defendant. A. On or about June 29th, 2024, the defendant described the plaintiff as, quote, the abusive, lying R word himself. She called him the R word, which I'm highlighting on the screen. I don't want to say it for, fear of getting shadow banned on my channel. I want this to get out so people know what's going on. This is kind of a big deal because defamation cases on their own don't, a lot of times they get dismissed. It's very difficult to prove defamation, but here we know that she's false, she's knowingly and willingly lying about the status of their encounters, their trysts, because this was actually, she videotaped it. She hid a ring in her camera and showed it to police and, videotaped them having relations. And she showed them to police and said, this is him taking advantage of me. When the police reviewed it, they found no probable cause or anything. They did not think that there was any kind of a sexual assault in any way. They concluded that Lindsay was a willing participant. So there's that. So she can't say that about him knowingly and falsely on social media, but she did. But I mean, she can, but there's consequences. And she hasn't taken these down. I know he's asked her to, um, or at least, publicly said, he has publicly said that this is not the last lawsuit. This might be one of five people at the moment that he is going to be sending lawsuits to. So, because you can't just go around lying and telling people he did those horrible things when he didn't. All right, so B. On June 29th, 2024, the defendant wrote, do not ever tag the R word on my page ever again, referring to the plaintiff. C. On July 5th, 2024, the defendant wrote and posted, Carney is, capital letters, a R word. So there's many, many instances of this, as you can see. On July 17th, 2024, the defendant referred to the plaintiff as the abuser and R word. On April, uh, nope, that's August. On August 14th, 2024, the defendant posted to her social media account, Carney abuses drugs. All the help in the world won't cure his severe mental illness and personality disorder, and he will still be the R word. I think Lindsay's projecting a little bit too much to the world about who she really is, because when you accuse people of doing things, it's usually who you're recognizing things in yourself that you don't want to admit. So I'm just saying these characteristics or these description words that she's using are probably words that have to do with her and who she really is as a human being. Um, so yeah. And maybe she's not the R word, but she definitely has used her sexuality um to try to get what she wants out of men. I'll just say that. It seems she's that type of personality. All right, so August 2024, the defendant posted to a social media account, let me make something very clear. Aiden Carney is very much a R word. On October 15th, 2024, the defendant wrote on her social media account, it's creepy that the R word isn't talking, or can't stop talking about me. He only has talked about her when she does something wacky, and she's always doing wacky things, so he will continue to share his crazy experiences with her. So that's why he's talking about you, because you're not stopping. And maybe he should just stop talking about you, because then maybe you would stop. In October 2024, the defendant posted to a social media account based on the lies of the R word himself, who is a felon. No, he's not. When referring to the plaintiff, he's also not a felon. He has felony witness intimidation charges, but he has not been convicted. He is not a felon, and he is not the R word that she keeps saying that he is. On or about November 12th, 2024, the defendant wrote about the plaintiff, he did commit the R word. Only thing worse that a R word is a then I think she means then an R word is a lying R word. J. On or about November 15th, 2024, the defendant described the plaintiff in writing as the cult leader slash abuser slash racist slash liar slash manipulator slash narcissist slash sociopath. So she's calling him a whole bunch of names there, and many of those, are quite defamatory for um, knowingly saying things about him that are not true. And even if she does believe them, she knows that he's not an abuser and not a racist, and he didn't do any of the other things that she is implying. She is just trying to tear down his credibility. That's exactly what she's doing with all these insults. The defendant posted to her social media account the R word lied. Defendant described the plaintiff as a R word cult leader, which she posted to her social media account. The defendant wrote and posted on her social media account, Carney is very much the R word. And N, the defendant posted to a social media account a manufactured photograph of the plaintiff apparently restrained in prison while a person holding a knife to his neck, implying that the plaintiff is a criminal. That's interesting. I didn't know anything about that. Number 7, the defendant, on multiple diverse dates beginning in 2024 to the present, has made false and defamatory statements that Carney committed a crime. The defendant, on multiple diverse dates beginning in 2024 to the present, has made false and defamatory statements in writing to third parties that Carney committed a crime. The defendant, on multiple diverse dates beginning in 2024 to the present, has made false and defamatory statements that Carney suffers from disease or mental or illness. Defendant, on multiple diverse dates to the present, from 2024 to the present, has made def- false and defamatory statements in writing to third party that Carney suffers from disease or illness. That's the same thing. I don't know if they meant to put that in there twice. Number 11, all of the defamatory and false statements made by the defendant were made with actual malice, meaning like there's a mean, a nefarious intention behind it. Like she is intentionally doing this to hurt him in some way. Number 12, all the defamatory and false statements in writing and published by the defendant were made with actual malice. 13, all of the defamatory statements made by the defendant were made falsely or with reckless disregard for their truthfulness. Number 14, all of the defamatory statements in writing and published by the defendant were made falsely or with reckless disregard for their truthfulness. Count 1, Carney versus Gattani, slander. So this is the first charge against Lindsay Gattani. The plaintiff restates and reavers paragraphs 1 through 14 as expressly written. 16. The defamatory and false statements of the defendant, as described herein, were slanderous. 17. The defamatory and false statements of the defendant, as described herein, constitute slander per se. Number 18, the defamatory and false statements of the defendant as described herein were made with actual malice. Number 19, as a direct and proximate result of the slander committed by the defendant, the plaintiff has suffered damages, harms, and losses. The slander by the defendant was a cause of the harms and losses that have already been suffered by the defendant. Wherefore, the plaintiff respectfully suggests a judgment enter against the defendant for her slander together with interest, costs, and any other relief the court deems just. If I didn't say it already, he's suing her for $2 million. She definitely doesn't have it, but he ain't playing around. He is sending a message with Lindsay because she's been the worst of the defamation. He also sent a notice to Jennifer Coffindaffer, which we'll get into briefly in a little bit um, after we're done with this. So count 2, Carney versus Gattani, libel. That's like printed defamation. The plaintiff restates and reavers paragraphs 1 through 20 as if expressly rewritten. Number 22, the defamatory and false statements in writing and published by the defendant are described herein constitute libel, as described herein, sorry. Number 23, the defamatory and false statements in writing and published by the defendant as described herein constitute libel per se, because it's in writing for, public medium to read. 24, the defamatory and false statements in writing and published by the defendant as described herein were written and published with malice. As a direct and proximate result of the libel committed by the defendant, the plaintiff has suffered damages, harms, and losses. The libel by the defendant was a cause of the harms and losses suffered by the plaintiff. Wherefore, the plaintiff respectfully suggests that the judgment enter against the defendant for her libel together with interest, costs, and other relief that the court deems just. Here we are with a third count. And is this the last one? Nope, we've got 2 counts left, I think. Yeah. So this one is for intentional infliction of emotional distress. So not just the fact that she did it and it was wrong, but the fact that I lost my train of thought. Not just that she did it and it was wrong, but also she did it with malice intentionally to cause severe, distress and whatnot. So that is what this section is about, what this charge is about. So the plaintiff restates and reavers as above. Gattani intended, knew, or should have known that her false and defamatory statements and writings would cause emotional distress in Carney. The defendant's conduct, as described herein, was extreme and outrageous. The defendant's conduct, as described herein, went beyond any definition of decency and is intolerable in social media amongst individuals and within the community. Yeah, why does she still have an X page if she's constantly slandering this guy? I would like to know. X, what's up with that, Elon? I think maybe her page needs to go. She often turns it off herself and then she'll be like missing MIA, but then she'll be back. So I don't know. But truly, they should not allow her and a lot of these other trolls to have accounts because, my God, they're just wreaking havoc. Number 31, the defendant's conduct as described caused the plaintiff to suffer severe emotional distress. Remember, Carney was locked up while his mother was fighting cancer at the time. He lost the last holidays, the last year she was here for the holidays, and that he can never get back. So that is definitely something that he has lost and can never, I mean, this is something that her actions have consequences and she needs to be held accountable for what she did to him. Number 32, the defendant's intentional infliction of emotional distress was a cause of the plaintiff's severe emotional distress. Wherefore, the plaintiff demands judgment against the defendant for her intentional infliction of emotional distress in an amount that the finder of fact deems fair and just. So now we're asking the jury. We're asking a jury to find, we're asking the judge to find her guilty on libel and slander, and we're asking the jury to find her guilty of inflicting intentional harm or emotional distress. So yeah, they want fair and just plus costs and interest. Count four, injunctive relief. The plaintiff restates and affirms everything above. Wherefore, the plaintiff respectfully requests that Lindsay Catani be permanently enjoined from making any statements, post to any social media account, or otherwise publish any words, photographs, or any other type of communication stating that the plaintiff has committed any crime or suggests that the plaintiff has committed any crime, is a R word or implies that he is an R word, that he is a felon or suggests that he is a criminal, that the plaintiff suffers from any illness or disease or any other false or defamatory statement of any kind. Demand for jury trial. The plaintiff demands a trial by jury of all issues presented in this action, and that is signed by David Heinlein. Where's he from? He got if he's got a different lawyer now for civil action against certain people who are defaming him. So he is stacking up the lawyers, man. He's got Betterow, he's got Tim Bradel, who's the OG original he's had on his team, and now he's got this other guy. What was his name again? I can't remember. David Heinlein. Heinlein? Something like that. So yeah, he's we will see what happens because like he said, there's more to come. Actually, let me see if I can find his tweet. I want to show you Jennifer Coffindaffer's tweet anyways. All right, so here I have um, Aiden's post about this. So when this document, I guess, dropped on the 8th, the Glare did a breaking news. Turtleboy sues the fake victim, and he was reading the document on his show. And then Turtleboy Aiden responded or reposted it and said, as you may have heard, since it's been on Mass Court's public record today, I filed a lawsuit in Worcester Superior Court for defamation. If you choose to defame me on this platform by baselessly accusing me of being the R word, a drug addict, or a number of other lies, I will not allow you to defame me like that. Criticize me all you want, just don't lie. There will be at least 5 more lawsuits on top of this one. Sorry, so there's 5 more on top of the Lindsay Gattani lawsuit. I thought there were 4 more. So there's 5 more that he's doing in addition to this one. So thought that was a good post to read to you guys. This, it actually is available. I will put a link down below too for you guys if you want to read through. So we listened to in my last episode, episode 97, we listened to the hearing between Gattani and Aiden while he was fighting the restraining order. She was trying to get it renewed because it had been a year, and she lost the battle, thank goodness. But one of the reasons why she lost the battle was because of all this defamation crap, and Tim Bradel, Aiden's attorney that was representing him. Okay, it's not going away. I don't know. This is the stack of they're calling it the Bradle stack because they had a stack of emails, posts, whatever from Lindsay. This is all her posts that she's posted about him. I don't know. I have no idea. Um, Even who is that? Chris Albert is saying, "Man, I'm not going to repeat or read through all of this. This is 250 pages." So, yeah, that's why they were calling it Bradle Stack in court because it was a huge stack that he brought in. These are all the times that she's mentioned him or inferred something about him, and that's in the last year or so. So you have that. I'll give you guys the link down below so you can read through them yourself. Finally, I wanted to bring you guys this. This is what he wrote with while tagging or whatever, um, getting Coffindaffer's name in there. So Jennifer Coffindaffer, former FBI, surprisingly. Um, if you hear her talk, she knows nothing about law enforcement, it seems. She doesn't know how to think logically, at least not in the Karen Reed case for some reason. So, and she has been maliciously also spreading lies and falsehoods about Turtleboy. So he's had a beef. The two of them have had a beef for a while now going on as well. So he says, "Dear Coffindaffer, FBI, you might not see this because you blocked me. So I'd ask the unblocked to please get this message to her. In previous tweets, you have made the erroneous claims that I, number one, quote, am known for being a drug addict while sharing a video of me blowing my nose during a live stream." So he was just finishing up blowing his nose on a live stream and his hands were by his nose. It was blurry and it looks like, he could have been sniffing lines or something. So she deliberately skewed the truth, even though knowing that he was, in fact, blowing his nose. She made it seem like he was a drug addict just to make him seem less credible and tear his character down. Number two, emailed you threatening you and your children. So she said that he emailed her and was threatening her and her kids. And three, am accused of the R word. All of these statements are not only untrue, but are provably false. I don't do drugs, and I'm certainly not known for being an addict. I've never emailed you about anything, let alone threatened you or your children. I've never been accused by any law enforcement agencies of R-ing anybody. As you may have seen, I filed a defamation lawsuit in Worcester Superior Court for $2 million yesterday because someone repeatedly made claims similar to yours. I am asking you to immediately do the following to correct the defamatory statements seen below. Number one, remove the defamatory tweets. Number two, issue a public statement on your YouTube and Twitter accounts admitting that you have no evidence whatsoever that I do drugs or that I am a drug addict. Number three, issue a public statement on your YouTube and Twitter accounts admitting I never emailed you or threatened you or your children. Number four, issue a public statement on your YouTube and Twitter accounts admitting that I have never been accused by any law enforcement agencies of the R word, and that the Medfield police determined after looking at video evidence that no such statement ever occurred. So um, he wants all those things in order for him not to take legal action. As a Hold on. All right, sorry. Want to make sure that my dog wasn't being too loud. All right, so continuing on, as a retired FBI agent who frequently is featured as an expert guest on national television broadcasts, and as someone who former Norfolk DA spokesman David Traub described as having an enormous Twitter reach, the things you say carry great weight with the general public. As you imagine, The millions of people who are exposed to these defamatory statements caused me great emotional distress and damaged my reputation. She will post something about him and then, something nasty about him, and then all the idiots out of nowhere that just have this like blinding rage for Turtle Boy for some reason, they all come out of the woodwork and agree with her and say, "Yeah, he's so evil and abusive and he's such a monster," and all these things. So her status as, FBI, people trust that. People think like, "Oh, she must be smart." But if you actually hear her talk, she's really not. But, people have a tendency to be like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I trust her because she has these credentials," but that doesn't make her a credible person. Especially when you've got David Traub, the spokesperson for the Commonwealth, trying to get her to say specific things and make the public think that Turtle Boy is not credible. Who knows? Maybe David Traub is the one who said trash him. I don't know. Anyways, as you can imagine, that it causes him distress. I trust and hope that you will rectify this situation as quickly as possible in order to avoid further litigation. I can be reached via email at turtleboysports or at gmail.com. If you would like to discuss more, hope to hear from you by Friday at 5 p.m. Thank you, A. Timothy Carney. Um, so, and then he posted like just a couple things. He's known for being an addict and spreading lies. There he is wiping his nose because he had just blown it. Um, Sometimes takes a while for justice to come. What does she say? Oh, this is her talking about when he was arrested. Yeah, this is um she has not, I don't believe, responded that. Oh, what did that say? Now he's accused of the R word. And 18 counts of witness intimidation and harassment charges stemming from his treatment of witnesses in the Karen Reed case. Or or maybe it's stemming from his accurate and factual and really effective reporting on this case. And that's why the government is trying to silence him. But what would Jennifer Coffindaffer know anything about that? I'm sure the FBI has never lied to us, right? Anyways, that's all I have for you today. This was a shorter one, but I thought it was a good one to get through because you can't just go around lying about people. Free speech is great, and I fully and totally am on board for free speech. I will defend people's right for free speech all I, till the cows come home or whatever expression. Um, I fully believe you should be able to say what you want to say. Even if it pisses me off, I will support your right for uh, your First Amendment. However, when you start lying, spreading lies about people, using the justice system as a weapon, like she did to get this restraining order to put him away in prison for 60 days, like that, there's no room for that in our society. You either have, you know, Western values like us and continue to support, support one another and not be this horrid, wretched society where all we do is just destroy one another. Let's start picking up one another and lifting one another up and stop being so negative and hateful. It's destroying our planet, as you can see. Anyways, I don't know, before I start ranting some more. Um, thank you guys for watching. As you can tell, this was all voiceover only. I'm still recovering from hip surgery, which is going well. Having good days, bad days. So I'm just taking it easy and staying off camera because I still am not quite there yet. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button on your way out. If you are not subscribed, please do so you don't miss out on more episodes from the Canton cover up from Crime in Court. So thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.